known her for years, and she's great. But I needed something funny. So you better bring the funny today.
Okay, well, you came in and sniffed me within 30 seconds. So if I'm not funny, I'm just going to claim I felt violated.
Oh, damn.
I don't.
Another lawsuit in the making. Hey, so let's tell you, don't beat the table.
Oh, yeah.
This place was built so cheaply. Every time you breathe, the building starts to sway. So
he said that in 2018, he was so broke, he had to sleep on his wife's friend's couch.
Yeah, we couldn't afford rent. I couldn't afford rent, so we couldn't afford rent. So we were basically homeless, and that was when I was applying for this job. And
Gandhi took your job.
Yeah, she took it. Now she just drove me to absolute homelessness, and then it worked out.
What happened with your wife? Someone called her a gold digger or something?
Oh, it was a whole thing online. So
it was a big thing.
Yeah, there's this community of people online who don't really like women, and it's like their whole identity is women are awful. And look, I love a little bit of sexism, but like it was just obnoxious.
Okay.
And like he came on I had a podcast. He came on, and I just kind of dressed him down, and I didn't mean to make a show of it or anything. I just didn't agree with what he said. A lot of what he said is just kind of corny to me. And I was like, you're childish. It's just a childish thing. And I think he's like a 6-foot+ black dude who is getting dressed down on camera by this little scrawny, skinny, fat, never take his shirt off, wear 2 layers, 5'7" Indian. And I think he felt very embarrassed by that moment because it just lived. And every time he would try to come at me, I would just post that and be like, we've done our discussion. And then my wife is like me. She says crazy things. I don't care what she says. They're all jokes. I know it. And we don't get offended by jokes. So someone clipped up like all the craziest things she said back to back to back and then just put it out on the internet, and then it just took on its own narrative. And then she's a gold digger, XYZ, and it's like, you guys don't know she was with me when I literally couldn't afford rent. I was basically homeless. We were on her friend's couch. And even when you say that, they're going to believe what they want to believe, but I just thought that was like I think it's a beautiful thing she did, and I'll always be grateful to her for that.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like being a wife or the husband or partner of someone who's on the road doing what you do, because you are a target when it comes to some of these things.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize, sounds like I'm being fake humble, but like I didn't realize I had any level of fame until that. So she would say whatever, and I would never be like, hey, maybe this is going to cause a thing for you. But then that's how I found out. And I was like, all right, well, maybe let's dial it back 10%. I still want you to be you and let it rip. But maybe like 5-10%, let's dial it back just because this was a lot to deal with.
Is there a price to pay then? Is there a price to pay for fame?
I don't want it. I don't want fame. I want to be the best comic ever. Fame, I don't care. I think actually this is like a beautiful medium where you are massive, but you can go eat in a place and your personal lives aren't as much front page fodder as like a A-list movie star, whatever.
Oh, no.
I don't want that.
We're one level below a carnival worker, man. Radio people know we're not famous. People,
but you're rich carnival workers.
No.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Remember what it says on there, Elvis.
Do you know how exhausting it is when your enemy changes every 5 seconds? So I guess now these red pill guys wanted to cancel us. Well, you can't get canceled by people you don't respect. And also, talk about beta male. How beta of you to attack women. We're just girls. I'm just a girl. On the same episode, we're talking about Gilmore Girls versus Gossip Girl. Ew, you're stinking up the comment section with your stink and your sweat and your, during solid core in the plotties, we don't want you in this space. But you know what I was going to say, though? I did go to solid core today, and you know what the guy said? He was like, so what do we do at solid core? We break down our muscle fibers and we create micro tears, because what happens, guys, when your muscle fibers break down, they come back better and stronger because they repair, and then you physically get stronger. So I'm like, oh, maybe going through all these cancellations and these hate comments or whatever, it's actually making us stronger. And I know that in my life, every time I've gone through any kind of suffering, God has rewarded me with happiness and euphoria, and happiness and euphoria wouldn't be as amazing as it is if you didn't go through suffering to kind of have perspective. Going through all this, you really realize who is by your side. And me and Nehal, becoming more like sisters. My husband, who's always been so supportive and amazing. And then just all my best friends who are you're that bitch. So I'm so grateful for the circle I have. I'm so grateful for you guys. When you're a simple little boy, it just breaks their brain that a girl can just be loved for simply existing. My husband loves me for simply existing. I don't have to cook or clean to justify my worth. I'm not even gonna go through our whole life story because you're not deserving of it. Honestly, I truly, I feel bad for the people that follow content like this, because it's just so damaging, and you're just doing such a disservice to young men. And pretty sure it's all 12-year-olds anyways. And also, wasn't your account demonetized on YouTube? Is this why you're still clinging to relevancy? I think you should get a job. I'm sure H&R Block should be hiring soon. Be better than this.
So Akaash went off on Myron, the guy from Fresh and Fit. Or is he the guy from Adver and Preach? I can't tell these foreign Negroes apart, but he's one of them. So he went off on him, and the saddest thing is, first of all, I love that guy calling out Akaash for, slapping on the table. But it's so sad that now that's all we're going to see Akaash in the context of until he ultimately starts a podcast with his wife, which is going to happen because God knows she's trying to be famous and she uses the word we with everything. So that's going to happen. But he has to do now local radio gigs to try and sell tickets. Because I don't know if you knew this or not, but Akaash sold out Radio City Music Hall. But that was like a one-time thing. And now he's back to basically clubs and stuff. And he still needs to sell tickets. So he goes on there. He goes off on Myron. But then he admitted that he told his wife to dial it back. Now, this was the time period, if you go through her TikToks, when he was still on Flagrant, and she was complaining because she had already gone on and they did that episode, and that didn't go over well. But she started complaining on her TikToks that she was being silenced by Akaash. So he did try to get her to shut up. And I'm pretty sure it was probably Andrew who was like, dude, you got to shut your wife up. But ultimately, that didn't work. And then she made him quit that podcast. And then unfollow Andrew. And unfollow Charlemagne the God. And unfollow Andrew's wife. And unfollow a behind-the-scenes person who works at Flagrant, some chick who's the chief of staff, and that chick still follows Jasleen, and Akaash still follows that chick, and she follows Akaash, but Jasleen unfollowed her. She's no longer in the little group now, and now she's just blowing through all of her husband's money as he tries to do local radio spots so he can sell club gigs because, you know, he doesn't want to be famous. I mean, he's dropping TikToks and Instagram videos with his wife every day with hashtags in them. The goal is to get as many views as possible, and you kind of need fame to sell tickets. And if NBC called tomorrow and offered him a show, he would take it, but no, he doesn't want to be famous. It's such bullshit. You can't just admit my wife embarrassed me and I had to quit my podcast. So sad, but he's a simp and a cuck, and you can watch more of her detailing her IVF journey because, you know, according to her, she doesn't want to have sex with him. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.